Hi, good evening, and welcome to your yoga practice this evening. I'm Becca, for those who haven't joined in before, so welcome, and for those who have, it's really nice to see you again. Um, so, if you have been taking part in the challenge, it is day 28. So, cushions, pillows, something that's quite sturdy and that can add a little bit of height. Um, blanket or two, and then a strap. So you could use a belt, a dressing gown tie, something that's long enough. We're going to use for our shoulders and our arms, and then also two blocks or the equivalent. So you could think of two thick books, something that's going to be able to take your weight and support you. So, as always, listen to your body, especially with our shoulders, they're really vulnerable joints. Ball and socket, which can be taken in different ranges of movement, and the shoulders and sockets like these, so the hips also like to be taken through the different ranges of movement. We don't do it enough with our bodies, and the way we are now, we sit long periods at desks, quite hunched over, drive cars on our phones, all movements, all postures that draw us forwards. So today is all about opening up, getting up, the shoulders nice and open. But please do listen to any impingement, any resistance, any restriction, and either ease out or find an alternative. So I'll guide you through different modifications. You should never feel pain in any yoga. So work with discomfort, especially if you're tight and it's challenging, but never pain. So let's start on our backs this evening. So bringing the bolster underneath the knees and then coming down onto your spine, and then bring the legs a little bit wider than hip width distance, and the arms a little bit of space between the body, so the midline of the body and the arms. So maybe bring the hands roughly max width distance and just start to send the palms up towards the ceiling. And take a few moments to make any adjustments. So any fidgets, and get as comfortable as possible. And then just start bringing your awareness to the breath. So scanning the body and noticing where the breath is held at the moment. So is there a particular place within the physical body you're feeling the breath being held there? And if so, take the breath to that area. So inhale into it. Often it can be a place of emotion, tension, physical tension, emotional tension, mental tension. So take the breath there and allow the breath to expand into that area, and then soften and let go of whatever it is. You may not know what it is. It could just be a feeling, which is absolutely fine. So try not to attach yourself or hook on to what it is, labeling it. Just acknowledge it's there and use the breath to send to wherever you're feeling it. Noticing if the breath is starting from the chest or the belly. So we're going to come into our 3-part yogi breath. So also called our circular breathing technique. So taking your hands to around the belly button. So the middle fingers touch, and spread the fingers nice and wide. As we inhale through the nose, feel the belly expand, and maybe the fingers separate a little bit. Exhale, soften and release. So almost you're filling up a balloon in that stomach area. Inhale. The exhale softens. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now take the hands to the ribs. Inhale, feel this expansion within the ribs, the side body. Exhale, they soften and draw in towards each other. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good, and then take the hands to the chest, one hand on top of the other. Inhale, feel the rise of the chest cavity. Exhale, softening it. Maybe connecting to the heart here, if you're feeling your heart beating. So taking the body in. With one more here as we feel the rise of the chest as we inhale. And then the softening on the exhale. Good, and then release the hands. Come to a normal, steady, natural breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And at any point you find your mind is wandering, use the breath, bring it back to the breath. So use the breath as a focal point. Slowly fluttering the eyes open. Reach the arms up overhead as you inhale. Give yourself a full body stretch. Imagine you're waking yourself up in the morning. Maybe roll over the back of the head, bring some movement to the neck. Maybe bring some circles to the ankles in one direction and then the other. Good. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe bring the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing yourself into a ball. And then placing the head, neck, shoulders down. And then just take a little gentle rock side to side, easing over that lower back. Good. Pause here. Release the feet down. So we're going to take our props to the top of the mat, the bolster behind us. And staying on our back, shift yourself a little bit further down. And then we're going to lift the arms up onto the bolster. So with the legs, so we want the wrists and the hands supported. And then the legs can either be out long, you can either bend the knees, or you can come into your hip opener, your Baddha Konasana, where the soles come to touch and the knees open. Keep the shoulders soft, closing the eyes. And find that ease in your silence, find that ease and stillness on the mat. And keep that breath connection. So almost imagining that you've still got your hands placed on each part of the body that we did in our breathing technique. So you've got your hands on your belly, then the ribs, and then the chest. And the breath releases from the chest first, and then the ribs, and then the belly. Just checking in that the jaw is soft here. The eyes are soft and closed. The neck is soft. With every exhale, we're becoming heavier and heavier onto the mat. So imagining your entire back body has got roots grounding, drawing you, stabilizing you into the earth. Breathing in and around the hips. If you're in your Baddha Konasana, your bound angle with the hips. Good. And then once you've found your comfort, just pause here. Allow yourself to soften, find space in the pose. Just here for a little bit longer. 5 more breaths here. Last breath here. Good, and gently release the arms. Take the hands outside the legs and gently guide the legs up to center if you're in your Baddha Konasana. If your legs are long, then bending into the knees. And then gently roll to one side and press yourself up. So coming into our reclined bound angle now with a little chest opener. So this is when we'll need our block. So most importantly, listen to how your lower back is feeling this evening. So options are to either bring the bolster at an angle. So you can use one block on the tall setting and then the other one in front at an angle. If you know you're okay in your lower back, you can always bring just one block on the medium setting, or you can bring the bolster totally down to the mat. And what we're going to do is take the tailbone to the edge of the bolster, bend the knees to start with, and then allow the back to come down onto the bolster being totally supported. So you've got this lovely expansion through the front of the body, the chest is open, the belly is open. And then bring the arms down beside you with the palms facing up. And then you can either stay here with the knees bent if this is enough. If you want to access a little bit more space in the hips, then bring the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to open. Excuse me. And then when you're ready, close down the eyes and then connect to the breath. And you want to almost fidget as much as you can at the start so you can get as comfortable as you can so that the rest of the pose you can try and find that stillness. Sometimes it can take a little bit of adjusting to find your comfort in the pose, and that's absolutely fine. But once we've found it, we want to try and stay still. As often it's our mind that's wanting to escape, it's the mind resisting rather than the physical body, unless of course you're experiencing any pain, in which case please do move. Pause, bringing yourself back to that breath if your mind's wandering. So have that focus and know that you've got something to bring you back. It doesn't matter if the mind, we can't pause the mind or stop our thoughts, but it's just trying to catch yourself when you attach yourself to those thoughts and run off with those thoughts. Bring yourself back to being here on your mat this evening. Good. Where can you let go? Where can you create more space? So thinking of the word surrender and using that word throughout the body. Good. 5 more breaths here. Good. 1 more breath here. Nice. And opening the eyes gently. Bring the hands outside the legs as you guide the legs back to centre. And just pause here for a moment. Good. Allowing the hips to make a need to shift, adjust, respond. Good. And then gently coming off of the mat. And we are going to bring the bolster widthways, and we might need our block here or a pillow. So take whichever, or your blanket. So we're going to come with the knees bent first, bring ourselves down onto the bolster. So we want the bolster to roughly be to start where the bottom of the shoulder blades are. So just listen to the body and get as comfortable as you can. This is quite a deep chest opener. So you can either bring the head down to the blanket, a block, or if it's comfortable, you can bring it down to the mat. And then either keep the knees bent, or you can lengthen the legs out in front of you. And then bring the arms either side of the bolster with the palms facing up. And then find your softness here. So we're opening through that thoracic spine, shoulders, the feet come a little bit wider than hip width, and just allow the legs to totally soften and connect to the breath. So really good for the front body here, especially if you're used to sitting at a desk and being on a phone and driving a lot. We're closed down, so this opens us up. Find space. But it's quite a vulnerable position. You're exposing the front of your body. Sometimes when we do our heart openers, like poses like this, we can feel emotions coming up. So just try to sit with those. Try not to overthink or action them. Just allow them to rise. You may not know why you're feeling a certain way, and that's fine too. Five more breaths here. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Let that belly rise, feel that expansion through the front of the body. One more breath here. Good. And then bend the knees, tuck the chin, and gently roll to one side as you ease yourself off of the bolster. And then pressing yourself up, we're going to come to our tabletop just to pause here for a moment. Neutralize the spine so the wrists come underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and just pause here. Allow any adjustments, shifts, the body to respond to the deep fascial connective tissue opening. Good, and then we're going to come to our seat now. So either kneeling or cross-legged, which is most comfortable, and taking hold of your strap. We're going to come to our cow face arms. So place the strap over the right shoulder to start with, so it's dangling over the front and the back of the body. And then bring the arms out to the side, and we're going to turn the right thumb up, the left thumb down. Reach the right arm up, bend the elbow and take hold of the strap with the right hand. Then the left arm, the left arm internally rotates, bend into the elbow as we take hold of the strap also. So we don't want to force too much here, just a gentle opening, and try not to allow the arm to push the head forwards. So keeping that opening through the front of the body. So bring the right elbow slightly away from the face, and then close the eyes and just breathing here, just making sure that we're not overarching through the lower back, so keep the belly connected. Connect to the breath. That expansion within the belly, and then the breath comes into the ribs and then the chest, and then releases in the opposite direction, so chest, ribs, belly. I'm going to stay here as long as we're doing some of the other poses that can be quite intense through the shoulders. So if you're feeling any sense of intensity, please don't worry, just make sure that there's no pain. 5 more breaths. Last breath here. Good, and then gently release the strap, coming out really gently. We don't want to rush as we release. We've been holding the pose for a while, so then bring the arms out and then gently release the hands down. Maybe give the arms a little shake, that can feel quite nice too. Okay, so bring the strap over the left shoulder. Good, and then bring the arms out to the side. So left thumb turns up, right thumb comes down. Reach the left arm up, bend into the elbow, take hold of the strap. Internally rotate through the right shoulder as you then take the strap behind you between the hands. Good, so just checking in that you're not overarching into the lower back, your ribs are drawing down, belly drawing in. The left arm isn't shoving the head forwards. Good, and then close the eyes and just breathe here. So just noticing how this side feels to the other. Does it feel quite similar, or do you feel more open, more resistance? Find softness through the face, especially the jaw, the forehead. Good, 5 more breaths here. Last breath. Good, and then really slowly start to release the arms. Good, and then bring the arms out to the side. Slowly release the arms down. And if you need to give your shoulders a few circles backwards and forwards. I feel personally got some heat in my shoulders. So if you've got that heat sensation, it's perfectly normal. Okay, so coming into our heart melting pose. So either on the blocks or with the bolster, totally up to you here. So you can also bring the blanket for your head to rest on too. So wherever you are, we want to keep the hips over the knees, and then you can also place the blanket under the knees too, and then start to soften the head down to the blanket. So the arms are slightly elevated. If this is too uncomfortable, too intense, which it can be in the shoulders, then keep the elbows bent and bring the elbows to the floor. You're still opening into the shoulders, but it's just less intense, okay? You can also do this on the bolster too, so whichever is most comfortable for you, listen to your body, okay? And then coming down. Pausing here, finding that breath, and that stillness and silence. Good, so if your mind wanders, then bringing the breath back to you, focusing on the breath. And take the breath to wherever you're feeling it. Good, 5 more breaths here. Last breath. Good, and then to come out, bring the weight slightly further forward, bring the elbows down, walk the knees in towards you, and slowly come to sit back onto your heels, and just pause here. Close down the eyes, soften the gaze. Good. So allow any responses to happen within the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our fronts now. So we're going to come all the way down. Another shoulder open with the block. So here, either put the blocks on their smaller setting, or you can have them on the medium setting. And we want to take the elbows roughly shoulder height, so the arms come out in front of you. And then bring the palms to touch, and you might have to shuffle your body around a little bit here, so then you can bring the head to the mat. If it's too much space between their forehead and the mat, then use a blanket to lift, to bridge out the gap, okay? And then when you're ready, bring the head down, finding that softness through the shoulders. Legs are soft. Releasing through the glutes. And then if you want to intensify it a little bit, you can encourage the palms towards the shoulders. So more, rather than staying parallel with the hands facing up, you encourage the hands behind you. But just listen to the shoulders here. This just intensifies it a little bit. Just here for a little bit longer. Find that softness, noticing if there's any resistance physically or mentally. And come back to that breath. In through the nose. And out through the nose. 5 more breaths here. Good, last breath. Good, and gently lift the head. Release the hands, place the hands down onto the mat. And then we're going to bring the arms down beside us and bring the right ear down to the mat. Soften the shoulders here, closing the eyes. Good, and then take the gaze in the opposite direction. So the left ear comes down. Good, and bring the hands underneath the shoulders as we bring the forehead down. Press yourself up onto your knees, and we're going to come to our restorative child's pose. So bring the knees together, come to sit down onto the heels, just to ease up through the lower back, and then start to bring the forehead down to either the blanket or the mat as the arms coming down beside you, and we take the forehead down. Good, and close the eyes here. And really noticing it through the lower back. The shoulders are soft, finding that space. Becoming heavy with every exhale. Imagine you're grounding yourself down. Releasing, letting go. Allow the belly to rise as you inhale. Feel this, the belly coming into the fronts of the thighs. And then exhale, soften the belly towards the spine. Good, 5 more breaths here. Good. Keep that connection. One last breath here. Good. And then bring the arms underneath the shoulders. As you inhale to press yourself up. Good. And then taking the bolster, we're going to come to our seat. Bring the bolster underneath the knees. And then coming all the way down onto our backs. And then we're going to come into our supported shoulder stand here. So just to take the weight out of the legs, lift the hips up, roll the bolster underneath the sacrum, so the flat part of the back. Bring the arms either side of the bolster, the palms facing up, and then take the legs up into the ceiling. So keep a micro bend in the knees, the legs are a little bit wider than hip width. Close the eyes, soften the ankles, and just find that freedom in the legs, weightless, and finding that lightness and space. Just checking in with the breath, deep breathing. Neck is soft, shoulders are soft, just noticing if you're holding on anywhere, giving yourself that permission to surrender, melting the body. 5 more breaths here. Last breath. Good. And bend the knees. Release the feet down. Coming into your Shavasana. So you can either roll the bolster underneath the knees. That can feel quite nice. If you don't like the bolster underneath, then release the bolster. The idea is to get as comfortable as you can so the body comes to a complete relaxation. So we're taking the body from fight or flight to relaxation here. Okay, so tune into the breath. Close your eyes. Maybe put a blanket over you. If you've got 2 blankets or a pillow, it can be quite nice to place a pillow underneath the head. Get yourself nice and warm, comfortable, so you can find that relaxation here on your mat. And then close down the eyes. Slightly part the teeth and part the jaw, so you've got this relaxed state going on through the jaw. An area we often hold on to where we consciously don't think about it. Joy for no reason. I'm filled with quiet joy for no reason, save the fact that I'm alive. The message I receive is clear. There's no time to lose from loving, no place but here to offer kindness, no day but this to be my true, unfettered self and pass the flame from heart to heart. This is the only moment that exists, so simple, so exquisite, and so real. So I'm going to leave you here in your Shavasana. Please do take longer if this time is available to you. And however long you decide to take, please, when you come out gently, come out mindfully, no rushing the body, no sudden movements, just a real gentle, self-loving wake up bringing that awareness back into the body. So thank you for joining me this evening for your Yin class. Hopefully see you soon back on the mat. Wishing you a lovely evening and have a great rest of the week. Namaste.